So, Simon, welcome to Glasgow Tellyfest and massive congratulations on Triggered being selected for our very first submission process. It was one of the most popular, I can tell you. All the committee and the guests just absolutely loved it.
Wow, thank you very much. That's lovely. That's really great.
And it's such an intriguing one. So for anybody who might be watching this who hasn't actually seen the pilot yet, how would you give us a sort of like an elevator pitch, like the basic what you could expect to see if you went to watch it right now?
Sure. It's about a guy who wakes up from a heavy night the night before with a rather blurry memory of what's happened, and he's lost his jacket. So he has to try and retrace his steps around the city to find out where he left it. And when he does find it, he finds that there is a loaded gun in a pocket. That was the starting point. That was the MacGuffin for. There are so many avenues you can go off with that. What would you do in that situation? Would you go to the police? Did something happen last night you could then be entrapped in? Was it put in the wrong pocket? Was it deliberately put in yours? Has it been used for something? And the more paranoid he becomes about it, the more the possibilities spiral out. It's a kind of paranoia tale as well, because also we don't know. He doesn't remember what happened last night. We don't know either.
One of the things I think makes it so intriguing because you're so on his side because he's such a sort of a warm and compelling character, but then at the same time you're going, but what if this and what if that? So would you say overall it's a thriller more than anything, a psychological thriller, or
Yeah. Yeah. The brief was to do something genre related. And I always think that the most engaging thing as a thriller is if it's relatable straight away and you think, what would you do in that situation? Also, because because it was a single person thing, and I wanted to, contrive a way of it being one person and a story to unfold. So it unfolds in that form in a series of video clips that he's sending to a friend, rather like voicemails, and the friend isn't answering as well. So his paranoia gradually increases through that. And felt a more natural way to do it than just having him talking to camera for no reason and that sort of thing. But it was inspired by something that happened years ago on a New Year's Eve in Edinburgh, which had always stuck in my head, where a friend lost his jacket. When we went back and found it, we checked everything was in the pockets. And then I suddenly said, what if there was a gun in the pocket? And that had just stuck in my head. For some reason, it came back out on this because I just thought it was a really great kind of Hitchcockian kind of starting point.
that's exactly I think what it feels like, and I think a lot of ways he is such a Hitchcockian kind of character. It's that classic thriller. Seems like the innocent, but also you don't quite know. And I totally agree. I love what you've done with that context of he is speaking to someone, and then who are they speaking to, and how are they receiving what he's saying, as opposed to how we're receiving it as well. It really, I think, draws the audience in because we become the person he's speaking to in some ways.
That's right, which means that you engage with a person and bond with them quite quickly. But it's a sort of a puzzle box as well because you don't know who he's speaking to. I think also with this kind of thing, there's a sort of television eats story, and all kind of stuff shot on film, whatever eats story. So I just wanted to do something which allowed you to go through a lot of story beats very, very quickly. So it's a flash, this has happened, that has happened, and all that. And you cut out all the bits of going from one place to another, and you just get the sort of updates all the time. So that felt quite a modern way of telling the story. It's a series of bullet points in a sense, and you kind of have to join the dots between them.